Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. This is the start of the new series, Keep It Shut, What to Say, How to Say It, and When to Say Nothing at All by Karen Eamon, or Eamon. These chapters are rather long. I had tried going through the first couple of them. I recorded them and everything. And they ended up being, the first one ended up being half an hour, and the second one ended up being 45 minutes. And I don't want your evening, study to be that long. So I think each chapter is going to end up being in parts, just so that I could keep each video down to a manageable time. So I'm going to see how much of it I can get done, and I don't want this to be any longer really than 10 minutes. So it's going to end up being in parts, and I'll just put, from the sparks of raging fire is today's study, and I'll do part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever, however many parts it takes to get through the chapter without putting it all in one and making you guys listen for so long. So today's video is From Sparks to Raging Fire, the awful power of the tongue. And the Bible verse is Proverbs 18 verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. I sat alone at a corner table in the sterile gray middle school lunchroom, fiddling with the peas and carrots on my mustard-colored plastic lunch tray. I wasn't sitting at the usual table near the front of the lunchroom. That privilege was reserved only for those in the popular group at my Midwestern school in the late 1970s. Oh, how different things had been just a week before. I was privileged to hang out at the cool table then, occupying one of its sought-after metal and formica spaces. But that was before it happened. My banishment from the popular group, which resulted in my need to sit at a normal table like the rest of my 8th grade class. I could feel the clique of teens staring at me, even though I never looked up from my tray. I could only imagine the things they were saying about me. How could I have let this happen? How could I go from being one of the most popular kids to now dreading school so much, especially lunchtime when the hierarchy of middle school culture was on full display there in the lunchroom? Why? Because of my words. My words had brought me to this place. Just a week earlier, I had been with a group of the in crowd of boys. I was the sports reporter for the school newspaper. We were laughing and discussing our basketball team's latest triumph over our crosstown rival. But soon, the conversation turned to what many middle schoolers talk about. What boys liked what girls, and vice versa. The wintertime dance was coming up, and so naturally, the topic rose to the top of our talk. One of the boys was considering taking a friend of mine whom I'll call Janet. I knew Janet really liked this boy, but I also knew a secret about her. A secret that, although nothing serious or scandalous, was embarrassing nonetheless. You see, at the last dance in the fall, she had snuck a kiss with another boy in our class under the bleachers when no chaperones were looking. That boy was one of my good friends, and he confided in me just what his opinion was of the stolen kiss. He thought that she kissed like a fish. Now, I should not have taken this juicy piece of information and wielded it against my friend, but I loved to get attention from the boys in my class, and I secretly had a crush on the boy who wanted to take Janet. And so I let the words tumble out. You might want to think that one through. You see, Bill Warner said he thinks Janet kisses like a fish. At that, the entire group of boys burst into roaring laughter. I assumed that this meant Janet would get no invitation to the winter dance and the top secret info I leaked would never be divulged to her. But I was wrong. Instead of this information deterring any boys from asking her to the dance, the one who had been considering taking her instead proceeded to tell her what I said and to ask her to dance anyway. To say that she was upset would be an understatement. She was livid. She gathered all of the popular girls around, and together they shook their heads in disbelief, their Farrah Fawcett-style bangs swaying in the air as they expressed their horror that a girlfriend could do such a thing to another sister. It didn't take long for the mob of middle schoolers to make a choice and then take action. They completely banned me from the popular group. No longer could I sit at their table, occupy space next to them on the bleachers during a sporting event, or even sit near them in any of our classes. For the first time in my 9 years of going to public school, I absolutely dreaded going. I had a stomachache every morning riding the bus to school. I was lonely walking through the halls between class periods, and once home, the phone never rang with one of the girls calling, wanting to chat. Trying to find a new group of kids to hang out with halfway through the school year in 8th grade can be rather difficult. Cliques have formed, friendships have been forged, and it just didn't seem there was any room for a cool kid reject like me. My only relief came from a group of 3 girls who took me in and allowed me to sit with them in the lunchroom. But the weekends were torturous and lonely. No longer did I get invited home after school to hang out for a few hours with one of my former friends. There were no more invitations to roller skating parties or Friday night sleepovers, not even an invitation to hang out at the mall, grab a soda and an afternoon matinee, and just enjoy being 13. The remainder of the year was hard, and I was so thankful to see summer vacation. Thankfully, the next year, when I entered high school, we would be joining with another middle school to form our freshman class. I hoped and prayed that this would mean I could find a new group of friends and begin to enjoy being a teenager again. Sometimes I still think about that lonely 8th grade year and how my choice to repeat something that was said brought about such a horrible time in my life. Now, what I said was not a lie. Bill Warner had said that she kissed like a fish. But my decision to repeat those words was a poor one, especially when he later denied he even said it. And of course, that was way before text messaging, so I couldn't save his words as a screenshot for proof later. My little middle school drama taught me one important lesson. Our words are powerful, and they have consequences. Whether it is a string of words screamed out in anger during the height of a marital spat, or a politician who chooses to lie in order to win votes, or even just a middle schooler trying to impress a group of boys. Our words are powerful, and our words have consequences. All right, I'll leave it right here, guys, and the next part of this will be tomorrow evening. I hope you've all had a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!